Yo, what's going on, y'all? We back again. Y'all know what time it is. Welcome to Lead Through Sports Spotlight. And this is episode 8. Right? We've been rocking out. Thank you for everybody that's been a part of this so far. What's up, Ma? I see you. Go ahead, send this to a couple people. Get everybody locked in. Everybody can see what's going on. Let's go ahead and get this party started, man. Dolls, what's good with you? I fight. Chill, dogs. We'll talk. Maya Moore.
How's it going?
Everything's going well, man. Good to see you. How you doing?
It's good to see you as well. I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I can't complain, man. Just trying to stay sane during these times. You know, it's a little crazy out here.
Yes, it is.
Everything good. I feel like I haven't seen you since we was 9 out Aberdeen.
It's been a minute for real.
I feel it. So I see some. What's up, Sap? Sap, what's going on with you? I see some new viewers out here.
Hot fire.
Yeah. So for the new viewers out there, I just want to get people up to speed on what Lead Through Sport is. So Lead Through Sport is my student athlete development initiative, and it was created to inspire student athletes to enhance their leadership skills and to use sport as a tool to navigate through life. And with these spotlights, I am highlighting people like yourself who have been through the process of being a college student athlete and doing really good things post sports after college. So that's what this is all about. And we are happy to have Maya Moore on today. So go ahead and just tell us a little bit about yourself to break the ice. You don't got to go too deep in some things. So we're going to hit a lot of layers.
Definitely. So, like you said, I'm Maya Moore. I know a lot of y'all are probably basketball fans. I get it all the time. Like, oh, you're Maya Moore, just like a basketball player. I'm terrible at basketball. So I ran track. I went to Bethel High School, graduated in 2012. And after Bethel, I went to Hampton University for both grad and undergrad. And I finished in 2016 and 2018. And now I'm a speech pathologist.
Sounds good.
AAU track and field as well with Technique Track Club, which was founded by my parents and some other folks. And then I'm the head coach of Kickingham High School girls track and field.
Absolutely. Can't forget that. Salute your pop, salute your brothers, Dion. Salute all of them. My peoples, for real. So how many sports did you play growing up?
I actually tried to do 7 sports or activities, and let me just say, all of them were terrible. I started with ballet and t-ball. Then I tried to do basketball, swimming, cheerleading. I did try gymnastics at some point, and of course, track and field.
Facts. Okay. And track and field is obviously what you stayed with. What was it about track and field that got you to stick with it?
Honestly, that was the only thing I was good at. So my hand-eye coordination is terrible. I'll tell anybody that. So as far as the other sports, I wasn't really necessarily good at them. Cheerleading was okay, but that was just sideline stuff at Aberdeen. I literally had to beg my mom to let me quit because after a while it just kind of got boring. But as for track, I mean, from day one, I was always good at it. So it was just something that came natural for me.
Got you. Sounds good. So tell me, there's so many layers to track and field. What are all of the, what's the word I'm looking for? What are all of the events that you can play in, and what did you play in or run in, I should say?
We have both the track side and the field side. So we have sprinting events. That's like the 100, 200, 400. Then you get into middle distance, which is the 800-meter run. And that's a half a mile for anybody not quite familiar with meters. And then you have the mile, the 2 mile, and it just goes up from there. And then, of course, you also have hurdles, field events like long jump, high jump, triple jump, shot put, discus, javelin. There's so many different things, pole vault. Actually, some of the kids that I coach do race walk as well, which is not very popular outside the AU level, but it is definitely a growing field. So growing up, I did everything from the 100 to the 800. I did hurdles, I did high jump. So it kind of just depended on the meet. I was all over the place. Like at some points when I was younger, I was running 5 and 6 events per track meet. But of course, you know, get older, your body don't work that way anymore.
Fact.
So,
So when you got to high school, you still did everything, or did you cut
so
back on a
high
couple?
school, I'm mostly stuck with the 400 and indoor. The way Virginia works, we do the 500 meter instead of the 400 meter. So I was actually the state champion senior year in the 500, and then I ran 300 hurdles as well. Of course, the relays, and that was pretty much. Oh no, I started high jump in high school actually, so
Uh-huh.
I wasn't good at high jump either.
I feel it. Well, we love state champions. Salute to being a state champion. That's some really good stuff. So let's stay on high school right now. When you were in high school, we know you were playing sports and everything, but did you ever think about, you know, what your life would look like after high school or when you graduated? Did you have a sense of like what you wanted to do beyond sport or anything like that?
So actually, yes, and my career was something I wanted to do starting in 10th grade. So I'll get into that part a little later on as far as what speech pathology actually is. But prior to then, I guess I didn't really think about it, but I knew I would go to college because I have an older sister and older brother. They both did their thing. And as far as Hampton University specifically, I want to say the 12th or 13th person to go to from my family. So my mom graduated from Hampton, and it was just one of those things I grew up around. So I didn't know I was going to go to Hampton initially, but I knew there would be more.
I got you. So it's safe to say that you had a real strong backbone, and that's the reason why you knew exactly like what you wanted to do when you graduated because it was already taught.
Definitely.
That's good stuff. So what was the program that you ran high school? I said high school, Bethel. What was the program like? Like the coaches, your teammates, how was that experience?
So, like I said, my parents, and I know you know Anise Cuffy, her parents as well, they started Technique Track Club when we were 8 years old, I think, or 9.
Mm-hmm.
So, most of our team from Bethel ran for Technique as well. So, coming into Bethel, it was just like we're a family. Started running JV in 6th grade. So, it was like we pretty much fit right in once we actually got into high school. Everybody was great to each other. I mean, even people who didn't run track before, kind of just everyone meshed well together. Our coaches, they were tough, but they were tough because we were the top athletes and not just the state, but in the country as well. And having girls on our team together was just like, it was an amazing experience because we are at the top of our state. So we're practicing against each other every single day, you know, trying to get each other better. And on top of that, we're best friends, like more like family, honestly. So having that, it was just great.
It sounds like you want to go back.
I could high school, I probably would, honestly.
Yeah, ain't no wrong with that. And I remember back when I was playing, it was like probably 11, 12 years old. Somebody was trying to get me to run track for Technique. And I was like, nah, that's not what I do. I ain't that fast, so I ain't got it.
Yeah, we always say to our sport is your sport's punishment. And that basically means, you know, other sports, when they get in trouble, the coach is like, okay, go run. When we get in trouble, we like, okay, we already running. What else do you want?
Y'all good. Y'all used to it.
That was our thing.
Yeah, that's good stuff. So let me ask you this. Being at Bethel, your AAU experience, and, you know, you said it was like family, right? So going into college, like, what principles did you take from that, you know, experience on the college level?
So that's a very interesting point. And going into college, I wanted that same family experience, and it honestly wasn't like that at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I tried to, you know, get my teammates to do different things, get us to be more social together. But it's a little bit different when you get to college, because when you're in high school, you're the best. But when you go to college and you're on scholarship, everybody that's coming from somewhere was the best where they came from. So it was just a lot to kind of take in. And then, you know, with people being away from home and just learning themselves, it was a lot different. But I still wanted to have that family relationship. It just didn't work out that way.
I feel it. So before we dive into the college part of this segment, I got a game for you. We're going to play random rapid fire. And I've started this probably 2 episodes ago. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and you got to answer real quick. I'm going to give you 3 seconds to answer. All right. And if you don't answer in 3 seconds, we got to move on.
All right.
3, 2, 1. Glasses, contacts, or neither?
Glasses.
Spring or summer?
Summer.
Preferred genre of music?
Definitely old school R&B, like 80s, 90s.
Cardio or weights?
Ooh, cardio.
Chest day or leg day?
Leg.
Favorite track runner of all time?
Myself. Can
I
I say
like that.
myself?
That's the first. I like that. Top 3 athletes all time. Favorite.
You said top 3 athletes?
Favorite. Your favorite.
Ooh, I don't even know. I'm gonna say LeBron James. That's all I got.
All right, that's fine. Who has more style, Serena Williams or FloJo?
Definitely FloJo. Yeah.
Are you still fast?
No, not even.
Favorite thing about HU? Sum it up in one word.
The culture.
Favorite shoe brand?
Nike.
Hats or showing your hair? You like to wear hats to show your hair?
Hair.
Can you dance?
No.
What's your favorite dance to watch people do? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said I could do the crank dance. That's about it.
What's your favorite dance to watch other people do?
I would say any of the TikTok dances because I can't do them.
I feel the go-to person in life.
My mom.
And give us one quick life lesson that you've learned in the last year.
Anything can be taken away in a moment. You know, with COVID, it was just a lot of things went differently. Thankfully, I didn't have to experience that, but I definitely had a new appreciation for the things I do have.
I like that. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. So let's tap into your college experience. So I want to know, what was it, like just being in that college atmosphere for the first time as a freshman? You got all this freedom, you got to adjust to time management, being on your own, and, just a lot of other things. But what was that like for you? And I'm not even talking about sports right now, just the college life in general.
College in general. So I would say it was a slight adjustment. And I only say slight because, for one, I was only 10 minutes down the road. Now, granted, I stayed on campus, and it was just more so like growing up, my parents gave me freedom. Like, they didn't kind of have me like chained to the house or whatever. But of course, I wanted to do nothing crazy. So it kind of helped me adjust to college life, because I feel like if they didn't give me that freedom, or I wasn't able to say, like, I mean, even in high school, I was going to HU parties, wherever. So it was like, it was easier for me to adjust in the sense of being there as a student athlete, because I already had those experiences with partying and everything like that. My parents, they're not really like the type of people to be on my back. They know what they taught me. So it was a pretty smooth transition, I would say.
That's good stuff. I like that. So give me some insight on, one, the life of a track runner from preseason. Carry me from preseason to the season to postseason. What's it like? Because, I'm basketball. I interview mostly basketball and football people. So I want to know what that process is like.
So the way track works, you really don't get a break, especially for someone that runs mid-distance or distance, because we start cross-country season towards the middle or end of July, and that goes all the way through November. As soon as December hits, we're in indoor season, and before indoor season finishes, we're already in the outdoor season, which doesn't end again until June. So it's a year-round battle.
Got you. Sounds good. So what was the process like as far as, being in the trenches, having those late nights, early mornings, battling between, academics, should I stay up and study or should I go to sleep and get some rest? Like, talk to me about those moments. How was that for you?
So that was definitely adjustment. And so I know now they've changed that NCAA rule where I guess they aren't supposed to have 2-a-day practices. I highly doubt that they're following it. But when I was in college, we had 3-a-days at times. So we're up at 5:30 a.m. going to practice. After practice, it's like, okay, let me hurry up and eat, try to get to class. At some point throughout class, I have to find time to do weight room. And that was on our own time. So our coaches were like, okay, you need to be in the weight room at some point between 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. before the start of our second. Kind of a lot. And it was a lot to adjust to, because, in high school, you're used to, okay, I got school for 8 hours a day, then I have practice for 2 hours a day, then that's it. So in college, it's like you're kind of all over the place trying to make sure you're where you're supposed to be, getting enough rest. Rest wasn't even a thing sometimes. Like, it was nights where I'm not going to sleep until 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. trying to get work done, sleep for 3 hours. I'm back up for practice the next day.
That's
So
tough. And I know I've been there before, and all my athletes listening, I know you've been there before. And it's
yes,
a real grind. And I feel like a lot of high school athletes don't understand when they get a scholarship, it turned into a business. And
yes,
everybody that I've interviewed always mentions something about it being a business, or, the pressure amplifies
most
because,
definitely.
college coaches, their job's on the line. They
Right,
giving you money to play, and, it's all about winning when you get there. So that's a
right.
very good point. Definitely a very good point.
Just tell them like, oh, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. Like you have to show up. It's no choice. Or I mean, you don't have to show up, but you're just gonna lose your money. So
And we don't want that to happen.
right.
So you mentioned it was more of a family in high school because, you played track and everything, and y'all took the track team basically to Bethel High School. And
Hmm.
you also gave you gave one more difference between college and high school. What else? Can you give me one more difference between the two? Because I really want student athletes to understand that, it's just a different level. And that's what this is all about, giving back free games. So can you give us one more difference?
So another thing, and it kind of ties into that business aspect. You're constantly looking for a spot on it. Even if you're on scholarship, it's not like, oh, I signed for 4 years. This money is guaranteed. Like in college, they can cut your scholarship in the middle of a school year. Like once the semester is over, if they choose, they can cut your money. So you're constantly battling with not only yourself but with your teammates because someone else who may be a walk-on, they might want your money, or the coaches may be trying to scout someone from another college or even another high schooler who they want to bring up into that program. So that's a major difference because in high school everybody gets to participate. In college you get to participate if you're the one that's at the top. So
Absolutely. That's good information. Definitely good information. So can you give me a couple of lessons that you learned from, just being a college athlete, being in a program, receiving coaching, being in a team setting? What kind of lessons did you learn?
so one lesson that I definitely learned was to treat everyone with respect. And it becomes a little bit different in college because people aren't necessarily respectful to you, but you kind of have to keep your composure and be respectful because college is a different ball game where, say, if you get into a fight or you get into it with somebody, you can get kicked out of school, not just kicked off the team, whereas in high school, they might just suspend you for 2 weeks and keep it pushing. So learning to, find that level of respect for people and also kind of just learning people in general because they're coming from different backgrounds than you. So you have to understand that not everything they do is necessarily trying to be disrespectful. It's just how they grew up. So it was an adjustment because, like I said, all my teammates and I, we grew up together. Our family grew up together. We had very similar backgrounds. So it was not as much room for, and even when we did have conflict with Technique Track Club, my parents would make us literally run around the track holding hands until we solved whatever problem we had. If you try to tell someone that in college, someone's going to get into a fight or get into some situation.
Facts. That's a good strategy by Pops though. That's a good
Yeah.
strategy. Cause I know y'all ain't want to do that.
Oh, but then we get around the track and we're laughing at the fact that, oh my gosh, we're really running around here holding hands, and then next thing you know, we're that good. So
And I feel like that's a good lesson because it's like, yo, whatever happened, it wasn't that serious. Like it
yes,
probably wasn't that serious. So we just need to get over it, get back to being family, and do what we need to do. Good,
definitely.
really good insight. So let's move on to your career and what you do now. Well, before we do that, give me a list of jobs that you've had ever since you graduated college.
So actually, this is my only job. I started working at the YMCA while I was in college, so I don't know if that really counts. But I wasn't doing much of anything important. I was doing where parents like come in and drop their kids off while they exercise. I was basically a babysitter, but I wanted to work there so I could work out for free. That's pretty much it.
Right.
But I had that job, and I used to bake on the side as well. So I baked with this caterer, a local caterer. He used to subcontract me to bake some stuff, but that was just like here and there whenever I felt like doing that. And
Can
then
you bake though? Like, are you like?
yes, absolutely.
That's what's up. Like, are you thinking about like maybe profiting off of that or nah? It's just for fun.
I possibly would. I mean, I wouldn't trade it for my career, but it
Mhm.
would be something I would like to do on the side.
Yeah, let's get to it. We love creatives. Let's get to it.
Yeah.
I like that.
And then so once actually I started my career as soon as I finished grad school, but I got hired before I graduated. So from May until September when the school year starts. I was just chilling pretty much. I ain't do nothing.
I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. So go into what you do now. Just, just tell us about it in depth if you can.
Yes, definitely. So a lot of people don't know what speech pathology is. So for those students who have speech problems, like where they can't pronounce their words correctly, stutters, um, children with autism, voice disorders, things like that, I work with those kids. And I work with K through 5. So speech is kind of a very broad range. Like you have all grade levels, of course. Then there's another side to speech where people might work in the hospital. They work with stroke victims to help them like learn to eat again. People who've had brain injuries. They even have speech pathologists in skilled nursing facilities. But I stick with working with kids because I feel like that's a little more rewarding personally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was getting ready to ask you, like, what drew you to want to do this?
So it's a funny story. So actually, my aunt is a speech pathologist, and I didn't really know that speech was a thing. I was that type of person who I'm always trying to correct my friend's speech, and I thought that like, oh, that's their parents' job. Like I didn't know there was a whole science behind it or a career to it until high school, when my aunt and my mom told me about it. And I was like, okay, so I mean, they make pretty good money, so I'm like, all right, if I can go to school for this, and that's really what got me into it. And then I also had a friend in high school, and he had a really bad stutter, and I mean, like, people used to pick on him, and I always call myself anti-bully. So
Mm-hmm.
would pick on him, I would pick on them because I'm like, that's very rude for you to pick on someone for something they can't help. So he saw a speech pathologist while we were at Bethel, and I saw his transformation into being able to speak fluently. And from that moment, I was definitely sold.
That's some good. That's a lot of good stuff right there. Definitely, definitely. So I want to ask you, from your sports background, the lessons that you learned, through sport, how does that relate to what you do now?
So I would say one thing that I learned during sports, and this was kind of like borderline from being an athlete and also coaching. They kind of tie hand in hand. But one thing that I learned is that all athletes are different. So one workout may work for this person and it might not work for that person. So that helps me in my career because there's several students with the same speech problems, and one of them may understand if I explain to them where they need to place their tongue in the mouth to get the speech sound out, but another student may not grasp it that way. So learning through sport that everything's pretty much like a snowflake, whether it's just humans in general, whether sport through speech, that definitely helps me kind of get that balance and learn to do things differently when needed.
Got you, got you, got you. So if you have somebody that, is looking to do what you're doing now, or somebody that's going to go through the same path that you went through, what kind of advice would you give to them? As far as, just, growing up running track, or if it's just a regular sport and then ending up in the similar career as you, what would you say to them? What kind of advice would you give them?
So I would definitely tell anyone, whether they're looking to be in speech or to do something different, I would say to explore all options. So in my program for grad school, we had to get 400 clinical hours, and that was broken up into different things so that we know exactly which portion of the speech we want to go into following graduating. So knowing that we had those options and we were exposed to those different things is something that I would suggest to anybody, whether it's my career or any career, just whatever you think you may be interested in, or even if something is something that you think you might not like, try it out just to see.
Got you, got you. And last thing, I just thought of it, last thing. What part, if there is one thing that one person in life should focus on to accomplish a goal, what would that one thing be?
I would say to have a plan. And that's one thing that I do with any aspect of life. So when you want something to get done, you don't just say to myself or to yourself, oh, I'm gonna go, let's buy a house. Like you don't say, oh, tomorrow I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna go buy a house. You gotta say, okay, in the future I want to buy a house, so I need to save X amount of dollars per month. I need to find a realtor. I need to find an area I want to live in. So having those steps in order will get you to that end goal.
That's good stuff. And a lot of what you just said, that's a lot of things that I preach, because I'm a career coach and my main thing is strategic planning and accountability. Because like you said, if you have no plan in life, like you're gonna go nowhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then if you have a plan and you're not holding yourself accountable for your actions, then you're still not gonna, hit your ceiling. So very
Mm-hmm.
good insight. I feel like me and you are very, very like-minded. This is one of my favorite episodes, definitely. A lot of good jewels in here, definitely. And anybody that's on here right now, if you have any questions or comments, let us know. Definitely. So did you guys play at all or run at all
What do you mean?
this season? Like, did you guys have any meets or was the
So
season called off?
we actually just started. So if anybody's listening and you have a 5 to 18-year-old that's interested in Technique Track Club, we just got started maybe I would say about 3 weeks ago. So we haven't had any meets yet. But once we get into May, we'll start having more meets. So if anybody's interested, you can hit my DMs or whatever, and I can let you know about practices and things like that. And then as far as Kickatin, we just got started for our outdoor season this week. So we haven't done anything yet. And because it's COVID, like the high school season, we typically have at least 15 track meets. But this year we're only having 6 because they're only allowing that for Hampton City schools. So, I mean, it is what it is, but at least they get to have a season because we didn't have one for indoor. We didn't have an outdoor season last year. So it's been kind of a roller coaster.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, let's get those kids signed up for track, man. It's been in the house for about a year or two. We got to get out and get these kids active. So definitely hit her up.
And even
Where,
I was going to just add, even if kids out there play different sports like basketball, football, soccer, track and field, we always say is the base to every other sport. Like you have to run in the other sports that you do. So running will definitely get your cardio up. And people, like we have kids who came from football, and when they go back into the football season, they're like, what happened to this kid? Because they're making cuts, they're moving fast, and it changes your whole game.
Absolutely. My dad said, "What's your contact info?" I think he has somebody that might be interested.
Okay. Yeah,
Do you want to put it in the comment box, or do you want to DM him or something?
yeah, I'll send a message afterwards, and then whenever you post it, I can comment on there as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Where can we find you at? Tell them your social media handle so they can follow you.
So I have 2 Instagram accounts. The one that I'm on now, that's my lane, and that's _ MYYLA. And then I have another account as well, which is at Coach _ Maya.
Coach, hold on. I'm gonna put that down here _ Maya.
And I'm not as active on that account right now because, like I said, we haven't had any or anything. But I definitely still get on there to check messages and things like that.
Got you. Well, yeah, everybody, her main page is up there at the top if you want to follow her. Then her second one's down there in the bio, not in the bio, in the comment section. So y'all get with her, all things track and baking, because I feel that as a side gig coming on. What's your favorite thing to bake?
Cupcakes, definitely.
What flavor?
Any flavor. I'll do them all.
I feel that. I like cupcakes too. Well, Maya, I appreciate you being on. Y'all go follow her. Y'all can follow me as well at tscotty_, and also follow my business page at _ rise to the occasion. Remember, I'm your favorite life coach out here, career coach. So if you need any help, hit me up, hit Maya up for the track, and we'll be back next Thursday. I can't wait to see y'all. We're going to keep the train moving. Maya, thanks again.
Definitely. And one last thing too. So my boyfriend, he's doing something similar to what you're doing, and he's starting Believe Athletics. And he's a professional track runner for Nigeria, which he's back from being there for 2 weeks now. So we had talked about everything that you're doing as well, and he wants to kind of get in contact with you to see what things you guys can work out together, or just because we see that you're doing great things as well. So getting you.
I appreciate that. Oh, yeah, I'll send you my number after this. Yeah, tell them hit me up. Definitely.
Gotcha.
Appreciate that. Y'all take care, man. See y'all next Thursday.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Anytime.